Hi, I'm Ridhima from Steer HRD Solutions. We help small and medium sized enterprises design their HR strategies and implement them. We are going through an unprecedented crisis of COVID 19. But a lot of us have realized that the lockdown isn't helping and we cannot hold the economy at ransom anymore, and we have started going back to work. And when we go back to work, the business owners have a different challenge altogether. You're probably making plans for the next financial year and you realize that you have more manpower than you require. Probably you had done hiring in Jan, February, and March for higher sales in the next financial years, and the situation completely changed. Uh, so you are now facing a challenge in terms of manpower and are having to face issues related to layoffs and job cuts. I'm going to give you some suggestions that I am giving my clients, and it is working for them to deal with this scenario better. We're going to talk about 5 such suggestions from my end. Let's get started. The first one, uh, a lot of this is driven by the fear and frenzy of business owners with what is happening around and the anxiety of what will come in the next year. I suggest that you first do an analysis of the facts and figures, meaning you make a record of what was the estimated sales that you had made for the next year and vis-a-vis plot the expenses in terms of employees, the employee cost, the office cost, the running of administration services cost, the bonuses that you would have paid, the leave salaries that you were going to pay, and also an increment that you would give at the end of this financial year. So estimate all of that as the cost. Don't just take the existing cost and then map it against the estimated sales for next year. Also take the elevated cost so you get the correct picture. Now do an analysis of what is your estimated sales figures for this year. Now this requires some acumen and analysis of the industry, which you must do. Then against that plot, what should be the expenses? Once you do this, you will realize that you do not need that many job cuts that you were earlier estimating after doing this analysis. So this will also help that the decision is not fear based or frenzy based, but bases certain facts and figures. Then we come to the next step. For the next 3 months, we must try to retain all the jobs because the economy is mostly in a lockdown. People will not get jobs. So it's essential to find out other ways of reducing the cost. We've already discussed about pay cuts. You can look at deducting from bonuses, from incentives, from the leave salary, from the increment that you were going to offer this year. So these could be ways of further reducing the effect of the employee cost. Once you have done that, you must have saved some cost. Then go to the next step. This is an interesting thing. Try and negotiate breaks with people. A 3 month or a 6 month break. There's so much anxiety in the air and everybody feels so much pressure, and people who are at a certain stage in their careers would not mind taking a break from it and live a peaceful life at home. So ensure that the jobs are retained, but they are just going to get a break of 3 months, and you will call them back once things have settled down. And you will be pleasantly surprised that people are willing to do that at this point in time and take a small career break of 3 to 6 months. This will help further saving of certain cost. After you have done this, you will still feel that no, I still have an excess of an employee cost and I have to let go of certain people. So now you are left with the task of deciding who should you let go. So in this, we are using certain parameters like the performance, the longevity or vintage or loyalty of the person to the company, the potential of the person for future development. While you are considering these factors, and these are correct factors also, we must consider at this point in time who needs the job the most, who is the earning member of the family. So this is one thing from my end, that uh, yes, in mostly it is the survival of the fittest, but at this time we are going to look at the survival and support to the weakest, and that is also one factor that you should consider while deciding who has to go. The fifth thing, till now I have discussed four things with you. One is doing an analysis of your figures, estimated versus um, the figures estimated of sales versus the expenses. Second is looking at saving employee cost from other areas or other heads of employee welfare and salaries. Third is negotiating breaks with people. Fourth is deciding the parameters basis who needs the job most. And the fifth one is communication. Now communication with both parties, the exiting parties also, the employees that you will have to let go and lay off, and also with the existing employees. With the exiting employees, you must appoint somebody to have discussions with them, to handle all their grievances, to listen to them, to deal with their anxiety, to tell them that everything is going to be okay and they will find another job, and consoling them and making it easy for them to accept the decisions that we have to take. You must have somebody who's a patient, calm person to deal with all this anxiety and all the reactions that people have when they listen to the pay cuts or when they listen to the layoff. Second is speaking to the existing people. Now, not all of us are used to the concept of work from home. Companies are already facing issues in terms of connectivity and consistency of reporting from people. People are also not the most comfortable. They have other responsibilities at home. People are not keeping well. They're not able to manage the time. The house is small. The connectivity, but you have to now communicate that this is going to be the way in which we work. More than 50% of our staff is going to be working from home, and you require maximum consistency in communications from the team. You have to tell them that we all have to step up to this scenario. Companies really caring towards people who are taking responsibility, but the rest of us cannot bear the responsibility of people who cannot step up to take up their own responsibility towards the job. And this has to be very clearly communicated. So yeah, these were the 5 things from my end to manage a layoff. One is do an analysis, take decisions based on facts and figures and not based on fears and frenzy. Second is try to save through other employee cost and administrative cost. Third, try to negotiate breaks with people. Fourth, look at who needs the job most, and then decide who will stay back. Fifth, have clear communication system set up for people who are exiting also and who are going to retain, who are going to stay with you. Hope I have added some value and given you some clarity about managing layoffs and job cuts in this scenario. If you have any queries, please feel free to speak to me. Once again, Ridhima from Steer HRD Solutions. Set, train, engage, evaluate, report. Thank you very much.